What's going on, guys? Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Riverdale, Season 1, Episode 7, In a Lonely Place. This episode was tragic, and I love this show so much, and it made me happy and sad, and all the emotions that we feel when we watch the best new show on television. So we're going to break the whole thing down for you guys. Hang out with us. We'll see you in just one second.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Can I dance like Veronica, you guys? Is that how she dances?
Only if you can do it in slow.
I'll be like Josie then.
Yeah, exactly.
Alright.
Yeah. We all gotta like hug and do a big like group move.
Yes, a big group hug. Joelle isn't part of it, obviously.
She's not having it.
No clubs exist like this in small towns.
You're
As
pulling a
small
Jughead,
town
okay?
girl, I promise you, there's no club this cool in any small town ever.
All right, cut
Okay,
the,
not like
cut
that,
the
but
music.
yes,
Now
still.
we need cut the music.
I
Now
went
we
to
need
West, I don't know.
cut the music. Now we need to go drink underage for a little while.
Oh gosh.
Those were the days.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
for those days.
Like,
I
God,
never
we're
did
bad
it, but I
kids.
remember them.
I'm like, so you're all like 15 or 16, and you're in a club in a small town that probably doesn't have a club, and you're all just like halfway done with your drinks, and everybody's like totally cool. Like, this isn't like the middle of West Hollywood, and you're all like 16 and on like some TV show. Except you are all on a TV show, and that's what we're watching.
Yes. Well, fair enough. I think they might have gone closer to New York City.
Yeah.
You know, so Veronica probably had some kind of connection.
I
Right.
guess maybe. We'll see. Buffy the Vampire Slayer ruined clubs for me because I was like, of course there's gonna be a great club in a small town. There's not.
There
No.
is. At least on mine, maybe, then I guess. I don't know.
There
It
was-
only lasted like a couple years, but it was there.
Yeah, right. Until they got shut down for their liquor license for underage drinking.
Yeah, regardless,
Wasn't
it
the drinking.
was so much fun. I love scenes where people go out dancing, so
Yeah.
kudos to Riverdale for giving us that.
It was fantastic. So, guys, this is the AFTERBUZZ TV After Show for Riverdale. We're halfway through the season. We're halfway there. I can't believe it.
Yeah.
It's sad. And this episode was sad, right?
This episode was heavy.
Yeah.
I feel like Jughead's been our little dark outsider from the beginning, but we have not seen him get pummeled like this, just one right after the other. I felt like he needed several hugs at the end of this episode.
But every time something bad happened, we cut to a shot of him holding Betty's hand, and that was great.
It's like
so.
he's gonna be okay.
He'll be fine.
Yeah. he's
I'm
good.
still not down with this ship, but okay.
You don't like Bughead?
I know, I
No.
love that name. Oh my god.
OMG.
One, gross. Bugheads are not like, all I think of like weird sci-fi from the 80s and They Live, and I don't want any of that, no.
It reminds me of the nice kind of juice they served at camp, bug juice.
Bug juice.
Again, I don't know what that is, but that
What's
sounds
that
foul
TV
too.
show?
Bug juice?
I
Or
feel
a
like it was on
movie or a
Disney Channel,
book
like about
series?
camp.
Well,
You know.
yeah, there is. Listen, there's a lot of people that have commented and tweeted that they don't like this couple together. I love them.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
agree.
those two have great chemistry. So I'm totally on Team Bughead.
Asexual Jughead for life.
Let's jump into our introductions. First, I'm going to introduce Mark Donica up in the booth, who just played that song for such a long time,
Well,
right?
I usually play it until everybody introduces
Oh,
themselves.
got it. Okay, my bad. Well, I introduced you, and so you cut it off.
I
Thanks.
love having a soundtrack.
Thanks, Mark. We're going to start on the other side of the table. We have Sam D returning.
Hi guys, Sam Davidson here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43, and I'm in the live chat, as are a lot of you. So keep on chatting.
We got special panel guest Chae Jones in the house.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. I'm so happy they let me come back and enjoy this show as much as I do because I'm obsessed. You can find me at Real Chae Jones on Twitter and Instagram.
We got my girl Joelle.
Hey guys, it's Joelle Monique. You can find me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com.
And I'm Ben Bateman. You guys can find me at Ben Bateman Media, talking about this show a lot. I tweet about this show sometimes. I have a weird following because it's split up between like huge fans of the Clexa fandom, sports, Magic cards, and CW shows. So if I tweet about Riverdale, my Magic card fans are like, "What are you talking about?"
And
Or
you should
like,
tell them to get on it because
Yeah.
it is magical.
"Oh, I do. Trust me. Trust me, I do. Trust me, I
believe
do."
it.
So this one, there was so much going on. I think we should start with the Polly stuff. That's where I want to start this episode off. So Polly's living in the attic.
Yeah, she
She's,
is.
Yeah, and Betty is like walking with Jughead, and she's
Holding hands.
we had like a couple moments. Like I kind of want to say that. So we used to do this thing on the 100 panel where we would save at the end of the show. We would do a segment called the Lighthouse
Okay.
because like the ships.
Yeah.
come in, right.
Fair enough.
We would always talk about it, and I always liked it. But with the problem with this show is I get so excited about the ships that I feel like I can't wait till the end of the episode. But in any case, so while they're walking, they like have a handhold and a kiss, and then a moment and then Betty goes to find Polly, who's in the attic.
I think it's funny how she always has these moments while she's like, she has these moments of clarity when she's with Jughead. I don't know, I just find it endearing and awesomely cute.
Right. Did you guys watch that interview? One of our fans tweeted at us that interview that Betty did, and she's talking about how in the last episode when the kiss happened, they cut a little bit from the scene. It was supposed to be a little longer, and she was supposed to have like a little more in the moment, and I think she was supposed to say something else there that got cut out. So she is into it. Like, it's clear.
Yeah.
And this episode illustrated that a little more.
Exactly. As much as people don't want to believe it, she is, and I could tell she was, but I'm glad that she told us that, yes, they did cut some stuff out.
Yeah, I sort of wonder with the two of them. I guess we're just doing the lighthouse with those two right now.
Sorry.
It's totally cool. I think I got on board with it. I do kind of wonder with these two, like, do we think this is something that it starts in episode 6 and then we're going to see this for multiple seasons? Or is this the kind of thing where it's going to be like a short-term dalliance lasts like 3-4 episodes and then Jughead does something that really upsets her and then they, you know.
It seems like Jughead is trying to figure some stuff out because he really doesn't want to talk about it. Not with his dad. He doesn't want to brag about having a girlfriend. He was having nightmares about betraying Archie. I feel like it might be more of a Jughead internalized thing where he's like, I'm not sure what this relationship means. He didn't even really reciprocate her kiss back. She kind of kissed him and then he was very like shocked and stunned and just kind of cemented to the floor. So I think that the show, just because we talked about it so much before the show started, that Jughead could still potentially be asexual. I think that maybe he's trying to figure out his sexuality, or at least in my headcanon, this is what's happening.
What do you guys think?
Okay, so I think that in the show Shadowhunters that I do that just ended, we had a love octagon that we actually created.
A love octagon.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, I've seen it.
We
It's
had
awesome.
magnets and faces on them, and then we had cast members sign when they came, and we would like move all the magnets around. So I don't think the Betty and Jughead thing is gonna go away. I think it'll still be in the octagon, and it's gonna grow like the octagon and Shadowhunters did. I mean, there's Veronica too. There's all these other people, and people in the chat are talking about Jughead and Cheryl, which I don't even see that at all. But who knows?
So in the scene where Jughead and Betty are fighting, is one gonna yell at the other one like, "Get in the octagon!" Or they're, you know?
It's like, get on the other side of here. I don't like you anymore.
I could see that. I would ship that in like season 2 or 3 of this show. When like Cheryl's calmed down a bit and Jughead's more confident. I could see those two together. Okay, this is new information to me. I'm processing this ship, and I kind of like it.
Well, Cheryl definitely has some pretty weird moments, and I think that'll dovetail nicely into the Polly situation, because Cheryl makes contact with this. There's like this whole hunt going on for Polly, both sides of the family. First, Cheryl finds out via one of her minions, like texts her, a character that I don't think we actually know very well.
No, she's just lurking. Hardcore lurker in the background, though. Very cool.
Such a lurker.
I'm like, does nobody hear those tap tap sounds of a text? Like maybe it's just me, and I just keep hearing text sounds while you're talking, and you don't think maybe somebody's listening in on me. Maybe that was just my thought during that period of scene, but I'm just like, please, how you not noticing the chick behind you though?
Yeah, so this is before Betty actually finds Polly. They go searching, and both sides of the family. So you have like Cheryl's side of the family. They're like straight up, Polly killed Jason, you know, because they don't know yet about the baby. And then we have the Coopers, and they're like, all right, we'll get the whole gang together. I like the way this worked because when they showed Betty and like her gang searching, it was like, these are the good guys. And the other was like, these are the bad guys.
Yeah, and the slow-mo walking, it's like, da-da, da-da, who gets there first?
Well, you even look at the costuming. Team Cooper is in like street gear, and they look like they're looking for a missing body. You know, they've got like the raincoats and the flashlights, and they're prepared. Whereas Team Blossom is in hunting gear. They're in like fox hunting gear with the like riding crop pants and the fitted jackets. And I was like, I really appreciate what's happening costuming-wise between these two teams.
Well, and what do hunters do? They have guns. And how did Jason die? He had a bullet put in the middle of his head.
Right, you almost feel like you wanted one of the people on the Cooper side of things to take like a stray bullet in like a hunting accident almost, right now.
Did it, Bill? No?
Never mind.
I think that went right past me.
I was going like Wedding Crashers who are going to get shot in the butt. Anyway, so they're both searching, and like in searching, there's the realization that, okay, we're going to have to, you know, hold a press conference here and reveal what's going on and admit that there's a baby in the situation. This triggers a whole new plot, like a whole new, and we all knew from the second that Cheryl was like, I want to help Betty, like we all knew that was nonsense. But here's the thing I was going to bring up about Cheryl, and this is why I went down this road, is that it's like every other episode they'll have a moment with Cheryl where they're like, she's evil, and then she has like a moment of humanity where she is kind of one of the good guys. a little bit. Good Girls. She's like on the good side of things, and she's kind of got a heart. It's funny, the way actually that the comic books I always read, they're almost making her like what Veronica was in the comic books originally.
Yeah.
Like Veronica was like the total, like she was like a bitch always, and she like really had a lot of attitude, and she seemed kind of evil and super vain, and then she'd have those sweet moments. Veronica's way more balanced in the show. Cheryl is that character pretty much.
Yeah, and we get it justified too. Like seeing her environment when we had that like Dark Matters episode where she's just walking around her gothic house in a very long robe. We understand because of her parents why she is the way she is, and I like the fact that all of these kids seem to be trying to take a step away from their parents, particularly in this episode. I feel like Cheryl is a good person, but only knows her first reaction is always to be mean, like don't hurt me kind of way.
Mean and controlling, like I need to be on top.
Well, not just I need to be on top, but if I'm not on top, then I'm nothing. Like, if I'm not protecting myself, no one is going to come to my rescue.
Sure, right.
I think for Cheryl, at least for me, for this, what we've seen leading up to this episode, you said it, she's a really good person. She just doesn't know how to do that. But, like, the one person she loves more than herself is her brother.
Yep.
And in that respect, I kind of, like, felt like she was definitely going to do it if she could just save JJ's baby. There is just no possible way she's going to let her mother try to ruin Polly to take the baby in, because she's dealt with it, she's lived with it, she doesn't want that for JJ's baby, which is totally understandable.
Right. And Davey Elmer in the chat said Cheryl wanting to help Polly was genuine. Here's what I think about Cheryl. Every week she takes one step forward and two steps back.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this give and take, but we are seeing progress nonetheless. And I think by the end of the season and then continuing, guys, into the second season, we will see her become a better person and kind of part of our squad here.
She has to make a pretty big step forward, though. She's going to get out of that pattern of one step forward.
I think
two
getting
steps
out of the
back.
house, she needs to do that for that to happen.
You mentioned the gothic Cheryl angle,
Yes.
and I think it's really funny that the Blossoms are like, there's this weird horror element they've decided to write in with the Blossoms. Even to the point, I tweeted this during the show, like when Betty's in the diner with the Blossom family, where I was like, get out! Get out! I was like, like something so bad
Have you seen Get Out, by the way?
No, I haven't seen it.
Never,
God.
it would never
It's a
happen.
great movie.
Yeah.
But
I
yes,
can't.
I totally
Right?
agree. And even at the top of the show, where we have this like very Norman Rockwell feeling moment that quickly like veers into a David Lynch experience where you're like, what is happening? We have like surreal horror where he's stabbed in the back. I like that they're using touches of genre on what could easily just be like a teen drama show.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
But
added a lot of layers.
it's not, and I mean, I've told you guys many times, I'm starting to really think that there is some kind of supernatural element, or at least a satanic cult, and maybe the Blossoms. I'm serious. And what about when Archie was on stage last week and kept on seeing those, like, wolf masks? Like, what the hell was that about?
That was weird.
So
Yeah.
they're, like, giving us little Easter eggs that there is something, to me, it's kind of satanic culty-ish, or maybe it's something else, but it's not just for no
I
reason.
just had the strangest thought of Freddy like controlling their dreams, and this just being like one major villain at the end, where you're like, I totally didn't see this coming.
I think there will be a supernatural element, and I think we've talked about this over and over again, but in case this is your first time listening, there's a lot of people that believe, and I think it's maybe even been confirmed, that Sabrina shows up in the finale.
Yeah.
And to what degree, we don't know. Will Sabrina just be a teenage character that doesn't do anything? She won't even be identified necessarily as a witch. But I do think that there will be a supernatural element. I don't know to what degree, but I would agree with you guys that they're definitely teasing that, and I don't think that's on accident.
Yeah, and I urge you all, like me, I'm a rewind girl, love to rewatch shows. Rewatch these episodes, because I start they're dropping us Easter eggs, like even from the pilot, left and right, and I've been picking up more on it as I rewatch them. So do it if you can, and let us know kind of what you see, because they're there, and I'm so grateful. I love shows like that.
Yeah.
I was surprised that that Betty was able to convince Polly to even go to the diner, to even meet the Blossoms.
Right?
Because I was like, I feel like Polly knows the Blossom family pretty intimately. I feel like she has pretty good knowledge of how crazy they are. And I feel like Polly would be like, Betty, there's no way. Like, they're playing you.
Unless this is like her only option outside of her, like maybe that just shows how crazy her folks are.
How desperate she is. I mean, and then the other thing that was really interesting was that when Cheryl's talking to Betty, she says she's carrying Jason's baby. That trumps everything. And I wanted to, it's like, even the way she says it, it's almost like, you're not important, Betty. And like, Polly's not important. but the baby's more important than you or your family because it's Jason's. And
Interesting read on that line, because I wasn't quite sure if she was playing naive or playing dumb at this moment of like, oh, well, no, in the same way that Betty was like, well, it's a baby coming, so our parents are going to change their minds, obviously. I'm interested to hear how you guys read that line.
I thought, the trumps everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For Cheryl's character, it makes complete sense in my head. Like, for her, it actually trumps everything because this is her last connection, basically, with her brother.
Yeah, I agree.
That makes sense a lot to me.
I love the look on Cheryl's face in the press conference when they announced the baby.
Yeah.
She was like, what? No.
Well, I mean, the normal parents, if they've lost a son or any child, if they find out their significant other, whatever, is someone's pregnant with the child's baby, usually they say, oh my God, come on in. You're mine. It's all going to be okay. You're part of the family, which is what they said. But the way they said it was creepy. And I'm like, you're just going to take this baby. You're going to kill Polly. And God knows what you're going to do with the freaking baby.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. No offense. I'm just like, I'm with you. Get the hell out of the diner. There's no need. I am sorry. That's a creepy. I'm going with that. I think they're like a satanic cult because their whole mansion. It's creepy as fuck. It's like something straight out of a like Hitchcock
Shining
movie.
Something, yeah.
Like no, like for real. But like, if you already, I don't care. Like I think maybe the hormones are affecting Polly. Maybe on top of being desperate, and like she really feels that maybe this will, be able to bridge the gap between the Blossoms and the Coopers in some bizarre, twisted way.
I will say this much, though. You have to be real desperate if you're going to shun your own family.
Seriously.
To go turn to the Blossom side.
That is true.
But they must be bad.
But I think it's for her, it's like, this is my baby. I don't want to give up. At that point,
parents straight up proved moments later that we will make you give up that baby because that's the only option.
Well, I think also like her feeling is that I'm underage, and if I have a baby, my parents have some amount of legal sway over what's going to happen with like me and mine.
So she's like 17, right?
Yeah, she's not 18, so I think she's a minor, and I'm not going to say that I quote know exactly how this would work, but I think there would be some amount of like if my parents were able to have me in their house and like work with me, and there is this baby, that they probably have some amount of say or something.
So
because they're still the legal guardians.
Yeah, so that's what I'm trying to say.
Shout out to Kellogg Kent in the chat that kind of like went on with my theory, said, satanic cult, I hope they don't sacrifice the baby. Seriously though, what if that baby is some kind of a sacrifice? I know it sounds nutty.
I'm sorry, baby sacrifices make me laugh. It just seems so far out, but if the show went there, I feel like they could accurately build to that moment, so I'd buy it.
And
Sacrificing
they have
the baby?
red hair, so just sorry.
I think that's
sorry,
like
redheads out there. I'm just kidding.
Oh God! You were going down the Game of Thrones thing, right?
Yeah, I mean,
right.
I'm not
I was thinking
throwing
it, but you said
anything out of, like, I might sound stupid now. You guys can laugh at me, tell me that I'm wrong, but when I'm right, send me flowers. It's fine.
All right, so that pretty much wraps up with, in the end, Polly goes to stay with Veronica. And this is funny because I think that... Oh, really?
I just have thoughts. Go ahead. I'm so sorry. This whole moment made me like all my hair stand up. I was like, what is happening?
So Polly goes to stay with Veronica in like their extra room in their home, and like this was another one of those things that. So I do this every week, but I'm just gonna do it again. I reference the OC all the time because I love that show. That show starts out with like Brian Atwood ends up going to stay with Seth and his family. They're like, of course you can live with us. It'll be a slumber party every day. And like in this situation,
they did not sound like that.
No, it was great. But like again, in this situation, I was like, it's funny too because I had a buddy in high school that I remember like stayed and lived with us for like 3 or 4 months, and I feel like. Maybe in high school it's just like awesome. You're like, yeah, my friend gets to live with me. Granted, like Polly isn't Veronica's friend. They barely know each other.
She has a child inside of her.
It's
a lot of baggage,
It's a lot of baggage. I just made me think. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm still on Hermione Lodge is the actual crime boss. She forged that signature with E. She's pulling all these moves. She got access to the books she was originally after. And she just seems so excited. And then... Okay, first of all, she seemed a little too excited that this pregnant teen was moving in with her.
Yeah.
I feel like any parent has a lot of questions. Like, yes, you can stay because we don't want you on the street. You're pregnant. But also, where are your parents and what's like? I feel like there'll be a lot of follow-up.
But she already knows her parents.
She said anything for Alice Cooper's girls.
But
weird line.
Still, right, exactly. That's what I was like, okay, but then she's like, oh, please just call me Hermione. And this idea of instantly be familiar with me, instantly let your guard down, let me be your guardian angel. It seems deceptive, and I still think Hermione Lodge is top bitch, and I'm really excited to see her use this chip to her advantage.
Hermione's like a GM in the NBA. Like, that was a move. She just got another asset. Now she's got the baby in her house. Now she's got another chip to like move the Cooper family around. Like, yeah, she 100%
in the game of chess.
She just got a draft pick. So.
And it was like she said, like during for the next in 2 weeks episode, they are the Hatfields and the McCoys. And if anybody's ever seen a Hatfield McCoy movie, you know how bloody it might get.
Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, what are the lodges? Like, where do they come in all this? I think that Hermione was weirdly, no questions asked, let her in, and she goes, oh, well, it's the Coopers. You hate the Coopers.
Right.
And she didn't say Betty's your friend, so like it was really, to me, total tip off. It was not good intentions, and I'm worried.
She's
for
basically
her.
she's Lord Peter Baelish, so that's what's happening. let's keep moving. Let's keep moving
What's
through
that
the
mean?
episode.
Game of Thrones reference.
Game of Thrones.
I was hoping, because otherwise I'm like, I don't know Game of Thrones, but I'm just hoping that was one, because otherwise I still didn't know what was going on.
Oh yeah, you gotta watch Game of Thrones. So moving through the episode, the other big plot line that we had was the Jughead story, and the Jughead story was so sad. This is brutal. He's like, oh man, and okay, just jumping straight to Skeet. So they definitely showed a couple different times where he's walking that they showed him having like a little bit of a gut under his shirt, a little one, not like an actual gut.
You
but
think like a gun?
No, a gut.
Like a
No,
big
I know a gut, but
No, what I couldn't decide was.
what, is he pregnant?
What I couldn't decide was Skeet, the actor's probably, I'm assuming, around 40, probably. But, like, he looks like he keeps himself in shape. And in Hollywood, at 40, like, it's not hard to stay in, like, solid shape where you look great in a t-shirt. Do you think they're doing it intentionally because he's a drinker? They're trying to give him a little bit of the drinking gut?
That makes sense to me.
I think it's maybe an artificial one, and they're putting a little bump under his shirt because of the alcohol, which I thought was like, wow, that's really interesting. Like, that's actually, like, pretty mindful on the CW's part because he's a super handsome guy in great shape.
I wonder if he had to wear, like, an alcohol baby around.
I hope so.
Just, like, a gut.
That would be funny, though.
But I'm so happy we saw him again this episode.
Yeah,
and,
Because he's
and
pretty.
again, each character, except for the Blossom parents, I will say, I feel like I've seen humanity in even the bad ones.
Yeah.
And again, with, what, FP?
Yeah.
What the hell is
What does
that?
it stand for? I'm with her. What does that stand for?
Yeah, I couldn't figure that one out either. They haven't actually alluded to it.
Francis Palmer?
Yeah, something
Doesn't
like
roll off the tongue.
I know, but neither does FP, but at that point.
They've all kind of got like JB as Jelly Bean and stuff, so I figured that was kind of why
Right.
they threw us the Jelly Bean stuff.
Because they've all got funny names. Jelly Bean, Jughead, so there's...
Funyuns, Palmer.
Funyuns? Yeah, something. Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Jughead's intro in this episode where he's having a Harry Potter moment of living in a closet under the stairs that nobody knows about, and he's, being expository about the spiders and the rats and being this forgotten child, and it really kind of puts you in this place of, like, sad emo teen, which is legitimate. Like, you have all these hormones. Like, we feel sad as a teen. It's a whole different level of sad. And then to go from that moment to the sheriff, like, rounding him up, that scene was devastating. Like, I loved you, Sheriff Keller, right up until this moment. How dare you tear down a homeless teen like this? What is wrong with you?
Well,
And it says in the interrogation, he refers to his dad as your deadbeat dad.
yeah.
What a
Yeah,
jerk
right.
move.
Well, okay. Have you guys watched Twin Peaks?
Yes.
No.
Yeah, only like one time way back.
Okay, so, in Twin Peaks, the sheriff before the main guy comes in, he's just such a dum-dum. And he's smart, but he just doesn't know what the heck he's doing. He's, like, bumbling around. So I kind of feel like that is what this sheriff is. And I don't know if someone else is going to come in and take over, because someone freaking needs to.
Oh, I like that storyline where they have to send in, like, a state police because the local hillbilly, like, sheriff can't figure out the crime.
It's like, you think this homeless kid did it? Come on.
No, I don't think so, because, they're definitely every episode, even Sheriff Keller makes a mistake in this episode, we think. But also, like, when the Blossom's like, we have Sheriff Keller, and he's like, now hang on, like, they've done a job every episode to kind of give us, for instance, he's super cool with his openly gay son. Like, they keep giving us these things where we're like, okay, this guy's pretty good. He's a good dude. I don't think
And he also kept all the evidence for the case in his house, and it got robbed, though.
He's maybe kind of a dum-dum, but I don't think that he's going to be, like, a bad guy. Like, I don't...
No.
Yeah, and he's not in Twin Peaks, not at all. He tries to assist when the real deal comes in. But, again, there's so many parallels, I think, between this and Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
And I felt that for sure in this episode.
I don't think Sheriff Keller is even incompetent. I just feel like this case might be too big for him. Like, I don't...
Yeah.
I wouldn't go so far as to call him stupid. I think he's a small-town cop who does small-town things. Like, mostly his job is, like, probably bust up, like, drunk fights at night, like, domestic abuse calls, and, like, some BS with the snakes every now and again.
Deal with underage drinking at the local hot club.
Exactly.
Like yeah.
So I feel like solving a murder case, that even though he might have the tools, like, it could just become beyond him, and eventually they might send somebody else in to be like, you don't know what you're doing. And I think that could be a cool storyline.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say we get some background on Fred and FP though, and we find out some stuff that we didn't know that I guess even Jughead and Archie didn't know. Which I was curious that FP was so willing to just like volunteer the information in like the first opportunity that he got.
Because he's drunk.
I know, but you would have. They've been best friends for years, and I guess he hadn't fired him. They had worked together a long time. What I'm wondering is how off the wagon. Like, how recently did FP fall off the wagon? Had that not happened before in a big way? I guess it hadn't for a long time because he had kept it together and had a job, we're assuming, for quite a while, right?
What do you guys think?
FP?
Yeah.
No, he was part of the Serpents.
No, but he was working for Fred for a long time, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, no, he was working for Fred for a while, but this gives even more theory, because I get, I'm like, small towns like these are very incestual. Everyone's parents, I'm like, those aren't your parents. That's not your real dad. Who's your real dad? And it like makes me think that maybe FP did something, because what do people get most upset about? Infidelity when you are with their person. So
Sorry,
it makes
he did say he's my son. He's like so many times at the end.
There's kind of no reason to say that unless you know something.
Yeah, I was like, my son this, my son that. We don't know a lot about Archie's mom. And I mean, if Fred found out that FP was really hooking up with his wife, then yeah, he'd bail him out and be like, get the hell out of my business, get the hell out of my life, I'm throwing you on the streets. That's a reason to do that.
Well, even get this moment where FP's like, talk to your mother about this. I'm so curious about Jughead's mother, because she took Jellybean, but not Jughead. Like, what makes you take one child and not both?
So you think that Archie and Jughead maybe are half brothers?
That would make a
lot of sense.
I'm kind of hoping. Like, I'm sort of keeping my fingers crossed that is the eventual outcome, because it's so juicy and exciting.
Wait, so let's just let's just do the Octagon
Draw
exercise
a
real
family
quick.
tree.
So in the Octagon, what predicted relationship would then feel weird and incestuous? I guess the only one would be Archie and Jughead hooking up would be the only one that would feel right.
So far, yes.
Right? Because Archie and Betty both, but then she sleeps with both brothers.
But then the Coopers...
It's like it happens.
Yeah.
Because I think we have talked about also the Coopers and the Blossoms.
Right.
And then we were a little bit worried about Polly and Jason. Like, that's not good. So, I don't know. I only want there to be kind of one, not incestual, but just like an overlay of that's your daddy, no, that's my daddy. Oh, it's both of our daddies.
It's an interesting point you
bring
up.
But I don't want there to be two, but I think there's definitely one.
A couple of things I picked up in these scenes. So Jughead's playing music. He's playing guitar. So they're definitely moving towards the whole band thing, which is cool. They gave us two different. They gave us the jam session and Jughead playing the guitar at the end. Not something they had done in any episode prior. So they're reminding us Jughead does know how to play music. Also, don't you guys find it interesting at all that like Fred's like, you want to play music, Archie? And like not like, I was in a band back in the day, so I totally get it.
And
like,
it was named after me, and it was terrible.
As a father, my father was a musician, and he does not want either of his children involved in music. He's like, well, you're gonna just tour around in a bus for a lot of days and make no money and go nowhere. Don't do that. Please pursue your musical dreams, guys. They're beautiful. I don't want to take that away from you guys. But I totally understand a parent being like, please don't do that.
I thought it was interesting. He seemed like the way Archie talked to Fred and Fred talked to Archie about it, it was almost like, I'm confused, this music thing. Football, that's the way. I work construction, not like, yeah, I had a band too. Like, wouldn't he have said at some point?
Maybe he's ashamed-ish.
I guess. I just feel like he would have said at some point, Archie, I had a band too, but it's not going to go anywhere. Trust me. Like, you know what I mean? That's
well,
I hear you.
I think that we put Fred on a pedestal saying he is the only parent in Riverdale that is actually a good parent. And this episode proved to me that he might have some secrets too that he is not revealing. So all of them are crap parents, I guess.
What part? Because I felt like FP's was total BS. Like, I was like, sir, No.
Yeah,
I don't believe you. When FP is talking about what what Fred did to him, he's like, we owned the business, and he would never say that we owned it together, and then he took it all away from me, and I was like, I don't believe a word you're drunkenly saying.
But didn't he say yes?
Fred
admitted.
Fred said that I tried to give him multiple handouts. Tried to give him multiple times to come back and do right, and he just never got together. And and we have to remember, Fred's company was on the brink of bankruptcy. Like, he was almost out of a business, and so it sounds to me like he had to let his partner go, and then struggled by himself to get the company back on its feet. So no, I think FP was probably given multiple chances and just continued to get drunk and do what he wanted to. And also, we saw him; he has a Two-Face moment in here where he's like, "But I'm a snake, and I will also hurt you, and I don't care." And I was like, okay, I don't trust FP for anything. I think he does love his son. Yeah. But other than that, I don't think he cares about Jack.
I don't know, for me, this, the part between Jughead and his dad when he's like, I just need maybe a couple months.
Yeah.
To, figure things out. That kind of hit home for me with my mom.
Yeah.
And, but my mom never said that to me ever. I wish she did.
Yeah, right.
That would have made things a lot, because you get hope for that.
Yeah, right.
I never got those words, and, I really felt for Jughead. He still has hope.
Yeah, right.
I lost mine when I was 8 years old, so that was awesome to see somebody else be able to still have hope for their parent.
Did it shock anyone else that he was like, I'm still going to go with my dad?
Not really. It was not for me. I've done it with my mom. You want them to be a good parent, no matter how much they mess up. You still fight for that good fight for them, because they are your parent, they're your blood.
It's just so hard. He just seems so heartbroken in saying it. Yeah, I'll go with you. And I was like, no, Juggy, don't do it.
I know.
It's a loyalty thing, too, also.
Yeah. Totally understand.
But this whole time, you guys, while he's been living at the drive-in, while he was living at school, he knew where his father lived. Yeah. He was passed out on the couch, the same place. He could have gone there anytime and taken his shoes off.
Completely.
So why now?
Yeah, I totally agree. So we're running a little short, so I want to make sure we cover the whole episode. But just final thoughts on that last scene between the two of them, because I do think the point you brought up was interesting. That he decided to go with his dad was definitely a shocker. I was definitely like, man, the stage is totally set here for him to go live with Archie, because his dad even says, give me a couple months. His dad goes home and gets wasted. It's like, you feel like Jughead the whole time saw it coming. It just seemed like, but I guess they want to make it a little more real, which is what you're saying. Yeah. He does employ the loyalty.
That's a very real thing, especially when you're a teenager. Like you say, emotions are just super high. Half times I feel like Jughead is halfway depressed sometimes, even though he doesn't let it show to anybody. But I was not surprised at all. I was expecting it. Yeah. Actually, I was just waiting on it, because if it didn't happen, that would have shocked me.
Last week was full of moments where I was like, kiss. This one had none.
Well, she kissed him and said, "Thank you, Jughead. I have to go now." But
I know,
that was it.
And then she even walks up to him after the moment with his dad, and it was like, there's a little disconnect with Bughead. Definitely, you're right, what you said about them unpacking their emotions, or him unpacking his emotions and not fully connecting. Because that moment at the end was clear. But also, you guys have been dating for 3 days, so let's get real here.
Slow, pump the brakes.
Yeah, but so the last sort of plot line we had in this episode was Veronica and her mom.
Yeah.
We had the sass.
They are very bosses with each other. Have you noticed they're each other's perfect match?
Yeah, and the negotiation and the whole thing. I mean, also, did you guys get that feeling when they're all at the club and they're like, or how about we tell them how old we are? I was like, you guys are brats.
Y'all are the most privileged teens ever. I will call the sheriff. I'll call my mom the mayor. And we're going to get this plastered everywhere. So do you. I was like, wow, kids. Wow.
You're the worst.
I love Joe. She's like, she leaned in. She's like, and my mom's the mayor.
Yeah.
Just very diva,
We are underage and you have served us, so make a choice.
Well, I was like, you know what? You didn't need to throw that out there. That's kind of dumb. Throw that out there last minute if there's nothing else to do to get in, if you're going to get in trouble.
Agreed.
But I'm like, really? Because I don't really think that would have gone down in real life.
Save your trump card, kids. Just pocket it and wait to use it wisely.
Did you guys love all of the made-up Veronica Lodge brands? Glamazon and American Access Card?
Yes.
I was like, yeah, this is Archie. Those are the things that would have shown up in Archie Comics. Exactly those things.
Absolutely.
That was great. Yeah, I mean, essentially the plot line was that she goes out clubbing, she goes with her friends, she walks out on her mom, she's full sass, and then she gets home and there's a negotiation where her mom... Hermione, Hiram is calling, right? And we didn't actually see it though, right?
Well, she answered and accepted the charges, but that's about it. Yeah, we didn't see the end result.
What's happening?
I found it interesting that the canceling of the cards was okay, and now we can come to the table.
Yeah, right.
Like, I don't understand how. That to me is step number one. Like, you're spending money we don't have.
You're
So I'm
16.
canceling your card until you can gain some sense. But for her to be like, and then she cracked, and I was like, really? Because this feels like the start and not the end of things.
She was
But
prepared. She
okay.
had cash, like
Yeah.
a roll.
Well,
of
she
20s.
knew. She
was waiting on it.
The thing is that what's scary, and I love Veronica so much. I was saying that she is like a better Blair Waldorf than I could have. I'm sorry, I love Gossip Girl, but to me, she is better because she's kind. But in this episode, I'm like, this girl planned it. She knew her card was going to get declined. That's why she brought the cash. She wanted that whole freaking thing to happen. She was planning it just like the parents plan all of this crap. And I'm like, uh-oh, she's the next,
You know what I love is that they were able to justify it, though. When she explains why the forging bothered her so much not about the business, which, as far as we can tell, she's never really cared about.
It's about Daddy.
Yeah, well, and not even just about her father and the betrayal there, but, like, you told me my name's all I had left, and then you used it without my permission, and I loved that.
Yeah, no, it was nice. Definitely that they that exposition happened. They didn't just have us try to read into it because it was definitely a big reveal. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. They also teased Veronica and Reggie a little bit here, just loosely, that he's the arm candy. I'm assuming that's something we're gonna see at some point.
Yeah.
But they didn't really explore it. Reggie's just like,
I'm here. I'm gonna club. I'm gonna, put my arms around you guys, and we're just gonna drink and have fun.
yeah. One thing that was like pretty interesting to me about this was that they definitely paint Reggie to be a dumb jock who's super close-minded, but like he's out there with the gay friend at the club, like dancing with the gay guy. Like it's just like totally cool. And I was like, that's interesting. I feel like in like the high school scenario that I'm thinking of, where the dumb jock, he like would not in any way be cool dancing at the club with the gay friend.
I feel like it's a matter of who's inviting you to the party. You know what I mean?
It's the hot
I feel
girl.
like, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
I get a party with two hot girls, like two of the most popular chicks, and this is their gay bee, and I don't really care. Like, then I'm not really associating with that guy. I'm here with the girls. I feel like if it had been where Kevin invited him, I think maybe we would have seen like a hard no.
Where's Moose since the pilot? Also,
Where is Moose?
He's supposed to come back. However, I don't know what episode he's coming back in, but there's gonna be a little scene between Kevin and Moose in the future. That much I do know.
And also, what about the other dude, the
Joaquin.
serpent? Joaquin. What happened to
my
Joaquin?
I ship it, and I need Joaquin back, and I need the drama that relationship will bring between Kevin and his father.
I actually like what you said. I actually like Joaquin now. Like I really
tweeted
do.
Joaquin,
Like
and,
I do.
and then it disappeared. So it basically ends with that final negotiation, and they accept the charges. And I think that pretty much covers what's happened in tonight's episode, unless I'm forgetting anything super important.
What I liked was how it opened with what makes a place feel like home. To me, that was the whole center of this episode.
Because all the home changing in this episode, right? All the you can stay here, I'm gonna stay here, you can live here.
And
I
everybody
don't
has
have
their
a
own
home.
definitions.
Yeah, right.
Of what that feels like. Like for Jughead, maybe living it as in the drive-in.
Yeah.
That was the most home he'd ever felt.
Let's move into predictions because I have some thoughts about that.
Okay. I could help that.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So my first thought is that we keep talking about whether or not this is like the Archie show that's eventually going to circle back to the Archie story. And at this point in the season, I think it's pretty clear it's not.
It is the Riverdale show.
Yeah, but I just mean like it's based on Archie Comics. And Archie Comics like was always like top-lined by Archie Comics. Archie, Little Archie, Life with Archie, all those things. So it's definitely a different take. And I think they had to assume, people watching the show were going to assume that's what they were watching if they knew. But watching the show, the more I watch it, I really do think this is Jughead's show. I think it's his story. I think this is Jughead's, I think it's Jughead and what Jughead is seeing, and it's all sort of through his eyes.
Well, speaking of Jughead, we actually did forget something that someone pointed out in the chat, was that Jason's jacket.
Right.
Yes.
Oh my god, the
we
big
totally
reveal at
forgot
the end.
that.
Yes, the big reveal at the end. Jason's jacket was found in FP's closet. So
I think it's a good one because there was zero context given really about it. We can just throw it into our predictions here.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was my thought, is that it just feels like more and more like that's the show we're watching. Like Betty and Veronica have their great own chemistry and their own story, and Archie will continue to like return as kind of like the anchor because of his dad. In a lot of ways, he is like the Sandy, the Sandy, like that's what Luke is in the show. But like, the more I watch it, I'm just like, I really feel like the audience is supposed to kind of relate to Jughead and be sympathetic to Jughead the most. Maybe it'll swing around, but at the end of the day, it's even narrated by Jughead. That just feels like it's his story.
Yeah,
that's very true. I still kind of see like the Riverdale show of like, here's a view at this small community, but I totally agree with you that Jughead is our entrance into that world, especially as he's an outsider and he's bringing all of us who are outsiders into this inner sanctum, and he gives us all the little secret tidbits. I'm interested to see what happens with Jughead next, as he's moving in with Archie, and we know that their relationship, even though they're working on building it back, has been really rocky. I feel like close proximity sometimes makes us say things that we wouldn't have otherwise had to say.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things are messy, and I love the mess. So I'm kind of hoping that Jughead and Archie get into it a little bit.
Let me ask a quick question about the jacket. How many jackets did Jason Blossom own? Like
a ton.
That is apparently so true.
Is that what happens with like varsity players? They own like 1 million jackets with their name on them.
I mean, Letterman jackets are expensive.
They're hella expensive. And they are super wealthy, but I still can't imagine why you'd have more than two. Like sometimes if you play like a summer sport and a fall sport, you'll have 2 separate jackets.
What if it's the same jacket from the car?
You guys, Ola in the chat said, remember Archie gave the jacket to the Blossoms.
No, I know, but but also a jacket burned in the car.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And now we're seeing what I presume is a third jacket.
Because why would FP have the Blossoms?
And why would the Blossoms separate with it?
Yeah, that makes no sense. This is the third Blossom jacket.
And even still, like there's probably no monetary value in it, so I can't see them like FP's
gonna hawk Jason's jacket for like a bottle of scotch.
But it's also weird to me that it's hanging up in the closet. Like someone came in and took off their coat.
Maybe he's Jason's dad.
I
know I'm being crazy, but
it's a lot of questions.
There's a lot of Go ahead, Chae.
Definitely agree with Ben. This entire season feels like Jughead's show. What I hope to see definitely is a big just fight between Jughead and Archie. Maybe it's about Veronica.
No, it's about Betty.
I mean, Betty. Maybe it's about Betty. I'm pulling. Maybe it's about Betty for some reason. Because, like, we saw from how he feels, like, he's feeling he's stabbing his best friend in the back.
Yeah.
And he's still dealing with his own sexuality, so that might play a part. And even though Archie does have Valerie that we're seeing.
We haven't seen her this episode.
She was there. She was with him.
Valerie?
Yeah, I noticed, but apparently nobody else did. Her and Josie were there.
At the club?
When they were searching?
When they were searching.
Oh, they had a Val on a shot there?
Yeah,
okay.
She was just standing next to Archie. That's why I'm assuming. But I feel like Archie is definitely not as okay as he wants to pretend he is by this new romanticness that's happening.
Gotcha. I'll jump in with just to relate to the Val Betty thing before you jump in. I do think that I predict that fight is going to happen, and it's probably down the line. It might even be season 2. I don't think Jughead and Betty make it to season 2 uninterrupted, but what'll probably happen is that Archie breaks Val's heart a little bit, and Betty and Archie have their moment, and then that's what Jughead is pissed at Archie again, and that creates a conflict. That's what I think will probably happen. Go ahead,
Absolutely. Sam. Okay, so I'm going to take I copy and pasted some things from the chat that I thought were totally brilliant, and this one's kind of weird, but I don't know. Marnie Annalise said, I'm thinking the Blossoms are inbred like the royal family.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not putting it together.
I like that one.
And then Kellal Kent in the chat at one point said Sabrina will bring back Jason to life in the last scene of the season.
I'm still predicting zombies in this universe, and I want it.
Jon Snow. Keep going.
Right.
Okay, and so also Michael Balsamo said the serpents is like also Veronica's dad. Like maybe Veronica's dad is FP's boss.
He's the head of the snake.
Or was.
That would make a lot of
Hiram
sense.
Lodge runs the serpents?
Yes. And okay, this is my thing that I just came up with while I was sitting here. What if the sheriff is being so weird and not thinking that well because Kevin, his son, who he has his back, Kevin actually killed Jason.
What would be his motive?
his motive, maybe they had it unfair, and he's like, actually, no, I just got my girlfriend pregnant, so I'm not really into you anymore. And he's like,
if
bullet to the
Jason
head.
turns out to be a killer, I will flip out.
Kevin?
You mean Kevin, I'm sorry, because I just really want Kevin to become the senator in the future. Like,
He still might, okay?
I want
He
him
still
to be
might.
like a wild, crazy child, and then to become this great senator.
I would love to see if this season is like the Jughead-centric season because of his narration. I would love to see the thing where in season 2, they like... I don't know. They give us
Switch
like,
the narrative?
Yeah, maybe it's like not him narrating
Yeah, give it
anymore.
to Betty next season.
It's a whole different show anyway. So that will wrap up our thoughts, folks. A couple pieces of news. One, Riverdale's renewed for season 2.
Yay!
That's really exciting. We're all really excited about that. And secondly, Joelle and I are going to be facing off this next week. We mentioned this a couple times. In the Ultimate Movie Trivia Schmodown and Collider. It airs next Tuesday. We're so excited. We are so excited. It's going to be crazy. So we'll tweet all about that. Follow us if you guys want to watch it, share your thoughts, things like that. You can find me at Ben Bateman Media on Twitter and Instagram.
Hey guys, I'm Joelle Monique. You follow me all over the internet at Joelle Monique and every week at blackgirlnerds.com. You catch me here Thursdays doing Powerless. Wednesdays we do The Magicians and Book Circle Online's Comic Book Exchange. All over the place.
Hey guys, I'm Chae Jones. You can find me at Real Chae Jones. I do Powerless with Joelle. Mondays I do Time After Time, and I'm gonna start 13 Reasons Why on Fridays, and you guys have no idea how excited I am for that.
And you guys can find me, Sam Davidson, at samdavidsonentertainment.com, Twitter and Instagram at samd43. And the Vampire Diaries series finale is tomorrow. Tiana Hobson and I will be live periscoping it at 8 o'clock from my apartment, and you can see us on Sunday to talk about it.
And you know what? I just forgot. Sorry. One last thought. Sam and I both we have this new thing we're doing called Anchor. It's a new app. You should go download from the App Store, Anchor. It's basically Twitter meets radio. It's like, it's little 2 and 3 minute segments. My show's about Magic the Gathering. It's called 10 Minutes of Magic. Your Binge Club.
Yeah, I am Binge Watchers Unite. I talk about binge watching, and there's so many things to talk about. You guys should check it out. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, Anchor. It's a great app. Go check it out. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you same time, same place in 2 weeks on the 30th.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.